Here's how this works. Water, salt, and pepper, those are freebies. Your pantry, it better have flour, oil, vinegar, mustard, and garlic. Beyond that, you'll only need 5 more ingredients and 25 minutes to put an entree or entire meal on the table. So, shop, set the clock, and let's dish out. Our first ingredient will be some ground beef. I love 85-15 here, but 80-20 would be just fine as well. If you use anything too lean, it's going to be a little dry and crumbly. We'll grab some crusty little baguettes there, some banana pepper rings. I'm using hot, but plain would be, or mild would be fine as well. Some Italian dressing mix. And finally, we'll need some cheese. I love mozzarella here because it gets nice and ooey gooey, but again, any kind of cheese you like would be just fine. With those ingredients in hand, we can get to work. The first thing I'm going to do is drain off a couple tablespoons and reserve it of the brine for those banana pepper rings. We'll go ahead and drain the rest of it out, so all that's left is the banana peppers themselves. Then we'll get our ground beef into a skillet over medium heat and proceed to spill our entire salt shaker over it. Actually, you know what? Skip that step. Just season it appropriately with some salt and a little bit of freshly cracked pepper. Once that's got some color and starting to brown on the bottom, we'll go ahead and spread it out. You can turn your heat up to medium-high here because you're going to have some water leaching out. We do want to get some crust and some brown bits on the bottom of that skillet, just like that. We're just crumbling and cooking our ground beef here, so go ahead and scrape and crumble and cook away. This should take about 5 to 6 minutes. You can drain any excess fat if you see some, but with 85-15, I'm going to leave it all in there. I'm going to go in with that Italian dressing seasoning packet, followed by the entire jar of our banana pepper rings. Again, we drained that and just reserved a little bit of the liquid for later. Once you get those in, just go ahead and start to stir them in to warm them through and use your spatula to go ahead and start to break them up into little bite-sized pieces. After a couple of minutes, when they're warmed through, we're going to add in the reserved pickling brine, as well as about 1/3 of a cup or so of water, just to help that Italian dressing mix very well through the beef. Just drop that down to a low simmer and cook it until most of the liquid is evaporated. Taste and adjust the seasoning as you see fit. Now, while that simmers away, we'll go ahead and take our bread, go ahead and cut it in half. I like to try and leave it connected if I can, but one key here, I like to do this with a lot of sandwiches, is just take some of that excess bread out of the center. It's going to allow us to really stuff these full of meat and cheese and not have so much bread as part of our equation, but you could leave it in there if you'd like to. I made enough for about 3 sandwiches here, but I'm just going to make 2 for the purposes of this video. Go ahead and mound on that crumbled beef with that Italian seasoning mix and that beautiful, tangy, slightly spicy banana pepper brine. I'm going to lay down a couple nice slices of mozzarella and then pop this into a 400-degree oven for about 5 to 7 minutes, or until that bread is golden brown and toasty and that cheese is gooey and melted. A little bit golden brown won't hurt anything either. Now you can serve these as is, but I like to add them to some aluminum foil or even parchment paper, then give them a very sturdy rolling up. That helps everything stay together, helps to steam that bread, helps that cheese stay nice and gooey and melty, and quite frankly, just makes it a lot easier to eat. So I'm just going to tuck in the sides and roll it up like a burrito. Perfect time to mention you can add lettuce, pickles, tomatoes, other kinds of cheese, condiments. I think some horseradish aioli would be absolutely dynamite here. But again, for a very basic 5-ingredient sandwich, this thing is absolutely fantastic. It checks some very simple flavor boxes: warm, crunchy bread, gooey cheese, tangy, slightly spicy vibrancy from those banana peppers, of course the richness from that slightly fatty ground beef. The only downside to the old foil technique is you do have to be careful to unwrap it very carefully so you don't get some foil in your bite. And I'm telling you, this is just an absolutely great sandwich. It's kind of like a combination of a Philly cheesesteak and a sloppy joe with some other flavorings mixed in there. I'm telling you, whatever you top this with, or if you just have it on its own, it's a great, satisfying little bite of food and a delightful sandwich. Hope you'll give it a try, or at the very least, get out of here and go make something delicious.